Thank you. And before I start my commencement matter, I'd like to support Senator Mullen in his commencement debate. I'm aware of the Hyde family. They have connections in North County Dublin. The mother of the little boy is actually from North County Dublin. I have been in contact with the family, and it's an absolutely outrageous situation. I know in the visa situation here in Ireland and the asylum process, weight is given to the fact that children that are born here in Ireland should not be... Yeah, well, I'll be very quick on my own matter. This is a very serious matter.
It is, yes, but hold on.
And we do show leniency in our immigration system in similar situations.
The family and hopefully Senator Mullen will take it up with the department. It's a separate matter now to your right.
But I just wanted to raise my own disappointment in relation to that. Now, I want to talk about immigration matters here myself today as well, and it's in relation to the naturalisation fees that are currently charged in this country. There is a €175 application fee and then €950 certification of naturalisation fee. So that's the total of €1,125. Now, I've come across an awful lot of people in my own constituency and right across the country who are UK citizens, and they're living in Ireland, and they're very fearful about their situation as Brexit is looming. There are approximately 300,000 British citizens living here in Ireland, and approximately 1/3 of them don't qualify for citizenship through lineage, and that's either having an Irish parent or an Irish grandparent, and therefore they would have to go through the naturalisation process to obtain an Irish passport. In 2016, 98 British citizens applied for naturalisation. That jumped up to 529 in 2017. In 2018, 665 British citizens were naturalised. And, you know, that's obviously because of Brexit. Now, I've spoken to people on doorsteps in my constituency, and they're very fearful about what's going to happen. They can't afford the naturalisation fees. And these are people that are perhaps married to an Irish citizen, living here with a long number of years. I spoke to one lady who's here 40 years, has adult children that are Irish citizens, but she can't afford this outrageous fee of €1,125. And that €950, the certificate of naturalisation fee, is waived in the case of a recognised refugee or stateless person. And I'm asking Minister for a defined period to waive that fee for our friends and our neighbours from the UK who have been living here for a defined period of time, who have contributed so much to this country and who deserve a bit of a break at this point.
Minister.
Very much, Cathaoirleach. Look, again, I'm happy to discuss the matter of naturalisation fees with the Senator on behalf of my colleague, the Minister for Justice and Equality, Mr. Charlie Flanagan, who sends his apologies. I would like to begin by stating that citizenship is a unique privilege bestowed on an individual that confers, among other things, the rights of protection of the state. The granting of Irish citizenship through naturalisation is governed by the provisions of the Irish Nationality and Citizenship Act 1956 as amended. All applications for a certificate of naturalisation are processed and assessed individually in accordance with the provisions of that Act, the law in fact. A determination on whether an applicant satisfies the statutory criteria attendant to naturalisation can only be made after an application is received. The fees to be paid by an applicant for a certificate of naturalisation are governed by the provisions of the Irish Nationality and Citizenship Regulations 2011, SI number 569 of 2011. The application fee is stipulated at €175 is payable on application for a certificate of naturalisation, and a certificate fee is payable on the issue of a certificate of naturalisation. The standard certification fee is set at €950, while a reduced fee of €200 applies in the case of an application made on behalf of a minor, or in certain cases where the application is made by a widower or surviving civil partner of an Irish citizen. In the case of recognised refugees and stateless persons, as the Senator has pointed out, the certification fee is nil. While the fee is reduced in the case outlined above, the fee is waived in its entirety only in respect of refugees and stateless persons. Any review of fees would have to consider other categories of applicants, such as EU nationals, and the impact any change would have on the level of fees for all other applicants. It is important to bear in mind that under the terms of the Common Travel Area, British citizens resident in the state enjoy unrestricted residence rights within the state, as well as associated rights and entitlements, including access to employment, healthcare, education, social benefits, and the right to vote in certain elections. Indeed, for the first time, these rights have been placed on a more solid basis with the newly signed agreement between the Irish and British governments signed by the Taoiseach last Wednesday. I would also like to remind the Senate that Ireland already operates a less onerous regime in relation to citizenship by naturalisation compared to many other countries. There are no formal language or civic knowledge tests, and a straightforward residence requirement applies to non-nationals. The nationalisation fee as it stands is comparable to other jurisdictions and is less than that applied by the British authorities, which currently stands at over €1,200.
Thank you very much. Thanks for that answer, Minister, but I think it's less than satisfactory from my point of view. I understand that there is a fee structure there, but I think for a defined period we should allow people that have been here for a significant amount of time and have contributed so much to Ireland, to their own communities, to their families, even practical considerations for a mother, let's say a British mother and her Irish children travelling through the passport control and having to separate families as they're going through to have their passports. These people feel Irish, they feel European and they want to remain so, and I think if the €950 fee can be waived in respect of certain individuals, I think in this one-off instance it will create an awful lot of goodwill, and I think that's what we need to foster going forward. So I really would like you to give more consideration to this.
Thank you, Minister.
Again, in consideration, I want to remind the Senate that Ireland is a welcoming country, and that we have and has granted citizenship to more than 100,000 individuals since the citizenship ceremonies were introduced in 2011. In total, nationals of 181 different countries have become Irish citizens since that time. The fee is a part of the process and is common practice internationally. The standard fees payable by an applicant are designed to reflect the effort and cost involved in processing applications for a certificate of nationalisation. The Senator will be aware that formal citizenship ceremonies have been introduced at no extra cost to applicants. These have been universally well received by participants, as the ceremonies provide a sense of dignity and occasion and serves to underscore the importance to both the state and the applicant of the granting of Irish citizenship. Any further changes to the naturalisation fee regime would have to be carefully considered, given that there are many non-nationals of various nationalities in the state who may be eligible for citizenship, and to single out one nationality could be considered preferential treatment. For this and for other reasons already outlined, granting a waiver of the nationalisation fee in respect to British citizens who are long-term residents in Ireland is not something the Minister is currently considering.
Thank you very much, Minister.